Hello everyone, this is Ange. Welcome to another episode of the Visual Novel Monthly Recap. This is a video series where I highlight news related to visual novel releases and the community for each month. In this video, I'll highlight anything that happened in July of 2023. Once again, a huge shout out to It's Andrew XP for doing the editing for this video. And a big thank you to Celty Farron who made a new drawing for me purely for this Visual Novel Monthly Recap going forward. Manga Gamer announced several new titles at Anime Expo. The first is Hana Awase New Moon by Enderbrain and Woga, an otome title. Next was Dead Days by Clockup with a scenario from the writer of Maggot Baits. Next is Beat Valkyrie Ixil by Alisoft, the latest in the series. Finally, there's Welcome to a Sexy Open World by Moonstone, an isekai adventure. JAST also announced several new titles at Anime Expo, including Goblins on the March Breed All Humans by Chaos R, described as a smaller game where you play as a goblin with a goblin army with a goal to breed all humans and possibly elves. Then there is Yomegami My Sweet Goddess by Alcott. This is described as a moe game by the same developer as My Girlfriend is the Present and Onigako. Next was Yamizoni Liberator by SQ'd. This is described as a game with dubious consent, where the girls are corrupted. It has a scheduling feature with RPG battles. It's the sequel to Yamizone Revenger. Next, there is Mojika Truth Rears Its Ugly Head by Nitro Plus. The concept is that you play as an ugly, bullied schoolboy who ends up with the ability to read minds. It turns people's thoughts into text. It was noted that this is shorter than most Nitro Plus games and gets kinda rapey. Next was Digibril by Frontwing. It's from a classic series with several OVAs. VDB lists it as a 2004 title. Finally, there's Sister's Last Day of Summer by Jellyfish. This is a fully animated title in a manner similar to School Days, described as immersive and atmospheric, taking place in the countryside. They noted that there are a lot of technical challenges due to the format and the engine, but they are basically over and expect a 2023 release. I was actually able to go to Anime Expo and record the JAST panel, so if you want to watch that and see what the JAST staff is like, you can find that live stream on my channel. Sekai Project also had a couple things to announce at Anime Expo. First, there were pre-orders announced for Nekopara plushies for Chocola and Vanilla. Next, Nekonin X Art is coming to Nintendo Switch. Finally, their only new translation announcement was Nekonin X Heart Spin. Also announced at Anime Expo at the Fate Grand Order panel, Type Moon announced that they'll be doing an official translation for Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon, and it will release officially on Switch and PS4 in 2024. This one's kind of amusing since just a month ago, the fan translation released. So I guess you can get this version if you prefer to actually read natively on the Switch or PS4, or you just want to more easily support the developers. TIG Translates released one Eternal patch in version 2.0, and it includes a port of Natsuki's route. This route will be available in Japanese and in English. Snowy Ryujin released a fan translation of Key's recent linear title, Stella of the End. Just keep in mind, apparently Key still wants to release their own official translation on Steam sometime this year. VNDB has done its strangest update to its site in a while. They changed the rankings and rating system. There's no more popularity column, and the Bayesian rating system was slightly nerfed. Now you need less votes to show up on the top rankings. Phantom 099 and Ribiwawa started working on a fan translation of Sui no Sora and Sky Remake. This is by the same writer who did Wonderful Everyday or Tsubahibi, and the original Sui no Sora was sort of a prototype of sorts to Tsubahibi. This remake is now apparently something of a sequel to Tsubahibi. The fan translation was apparently based on the little work Gams did on it a while ago and put his translation on GitHub. Voltage did an official translation and Switch release of the Otome Masquerade Kiss. Apparently the female protagonist is a badass special agent spy, and at least some of her love interests are her targets on missions. Nekonyan released My Klutzy Cupid, developed by Hulot, who also made Kamiyava. The premise is amusing. An angel of love lets you write the name of your crush in a love note to see current affection levels. However, once you do, if you don't get together with said crush in 90 days, you'll lose your sex organ. From what I heard, it's a short-ish moege with a hefty amount of H scenes. Tsukihime Remake got more news later in the month. According to a Type Moon Ace book, it's going to get an official PC port, so if you don't want to do some Switch emulator shenanigans, just read Tsukihime Remake on PC, there's a high chance the upcoming official translation will be on Steam as well. Frontwing released the PC version of Grisaya Chronos Rebellion. It was originally a mobile game with a crossover of the cast of the original Grisaya trilogy, Phantom Trigger, and a bunch of new characters. The mobile gameplay was removed for this Steam release, so it's a full visual novel now. Apparently, some CGs had to be changed to get a proper Steam release. Axis Games released Radiant Tale on the Nintendo Switch. It's an otome about performers called Circus. Dual Tale released Venus Blood GAIA International with JAST USA. I assume if you liked the previous Venus Blood strategy RPG visual novels, you'll like this too. Visual Arts Key's CEO has stepped down and is now fully owned by Tencent. Tencent owns and funds Riot Games, Kadokawa Entertainment, and Platinum Games. Some people are worried about them affecting future Key visual novel releases, but that remains to be seen. It also may indirectly affect Toneworks, a company who merged with Visual Arts, who may have issues keeping the rights to older titles like Hatsukoi and Hoshiori Yume Mirai. JAST had previously released Neko Knight on their store and Manga Gamer. They were able to release what they're calling a censored edition on Steam. I'm just including this entry because of the amusing localized name and logo. Cherry Kiss Games released Miel's Super Smash Gals Ultimate Orgy on Steam. It's a nukige about gamer girls cosplaying as video game class archetypes. After many delays, Love Lab finally released Receipt's Sugar Sweet Temptation on Steam. It appears to be a cafe slice of life visual novel with 3 petite heroines. Shirobune has released the HD version of Kara no Shoujo 1 called The Shell Part 1 Inferno. It contains more voice acting and new small scenarios compared to the original. Sekai Project created a visual novel social media on the Fediverse called visualnovels.social. It's an invite-only social media, so if you want to get in, you either have to DM Sekai Project on Twitter, DM Dovak on Discord, or create a ticket on the Sekai Project website. Shirobune announced that they're going to be translating the 3rd entry in the Nope Nurses series. It'll be called Nope, 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 Nope Nurses. That's 4 nopes, and will be released around October. After many delays, Sekai Project finally released the HD version of Hoshizora no Memoria on Steam. If you already have Hosha Memo on Steam, it will automatically update to the HD version. I personally recommend this new HD version because it has much crisper looking graphics and even has the option of a remastered soundtrack. And that is it for July of 2023. As always, if you have any feedback, positive or negative, feel free to leave a comment below or one of my social medias. Now I want to give a proper shout out to my YouTube paying members. First, we have Lee Douglas in the VN Weirdo tier for 2 months. Then there's David Mendiola, who's been in the VN Super Weirdo tier for 1 month. Marie Antoinette, who's been in the VN Super Weirdo tier for 11 months. And then finally, Dexter Boston Terrier Dog RIP, who's been in the VN Super Weirdo tier for 4 months. Much appreciated. Finally, I want to give a huge shout out to T Lover, who gives me monthly payments through Coffee. Much appreciated there.